everybody, it's Jason Chadwick with Premier Guitar, and we're at the Line 6 lair, secluded off the floor, with Tony and Eric from Line 6. And today, we're going to be looking at the new HX Effects unit that you guys brought to the show. So tell us a little bit about this, Eric, and kind of the idea behind the design.
Sure. So it's designed by the same design team and the development team as Helix. There are a lot of people at Line 6 who are amp and pedal board guys. We all have our favorite amps, we all have our favorite pedals, and even though Helix can be used just as effects, there are a lot of people who don't like the idea that it even has amp models. So this is a specific effects-only version of Helix designed specifically for your pedal board. So no amps, no cabs. It does 9 simultaneous HX effects at once. In addition, you can, in addition to the 117 HX effects it has built in, we also added 77 legacy Line 6 effects going back all the way to the DL4. So if you remember your old 4-bang stomp boxes fondly, or M5, M9, all of that goodness is in here as well. So from an interface standpoint, if you're familiar with the M9, it's just as simple. You select the preset or the effect you want, turn the big knob to change the effect, and then turn the little knobs to adjust it. That's 50% of it right there. However, if you come from the Helix land, or if you're a big tweaker, you can also dig really deep and get into 4-cable method, 7-cable method, parallel routing, advanced controller assignment, where an expression pedal controls 47 things, 64 things, however many you want.
Is that through like the Helix editor program?
It uses the same HX editor as Helix, Helix LT, and Helix Rack. Currently, it's just a librarian and IR loader. We're going to have the full edit capability coming in a month or two. So,
okay. So let's walk through some of the sounds and let's hear what this thing can do.
Sure. So this is just 6 or 8 effects in a row. We have a delay into another delay into one of our new Glitz reverbs, which is new for 2.5. All right, so what this is doing, these presets were actually made by Pete Thorne. So if we switch to this preset, it actually is switching the channels on the amp as well, because it has up to 4 amp control outputs on the back. So
let's hear that.
Here's a lead.
So you said you had up to 9 effects at a time.
Yep. So
then you can we have 6 here that you might want to switch on and switch off depending on what mode you're in, right?
Yeah. So if you do everything from the top panel, we call this stomp view. You can assign 6 and then swap them and do whatever you want. If you dig a little deeper, you can go into the signal flow view and you have access to 9 total blocks. And in this case, you can also assign multiple effects to the same switch. You can have a switch toggle between 2 things. You can also have that switch send out a MIDI command, so you can use it as the centerpiece of your entire pedal board. Control your Strymons, control your Eventide H9s, control your Fractal, control your Kemper. It really becomes sort of the brain of your rig. So it gets as deep as you'd want to go. It has about the same depth as Helix does, just without the amps and the cabs.
And then tell me, I know this one's kind of attached to the pedal board, but tell me a little bit about the ins and outs around the back. What do we have going on?
So we have stereo and stereo out. We have 2 expression pedal inputs, each of which that can be globally switched to be a dual amp control output. So 1 expression, 2 amp controls, 4 amp controls, or 2 expression pedals. It has 2 mono effects loops that are routable anywhere within your signal flow, and that can be ganged for a stereo loop. They can also be used for 4-cable method, 7-cable method with 2 amps. And then that's pretty much, yeah.
So what'll be the pricing and availability on the HX effects?
They are shipping now. People already have them. We sold out at a couple big stores. They're going to get more on Monday, and then in Europe they're available, I think, mid-February, $5.99 US.
Where can people go online to find out more information about the HX effects and everything else you guys do over at Line 6?
Just line6.com.
All right, Eric, Tony, thank you so much. Tony, we're going to have you play us out with some sounds. This is Jason Shadrick with Premier Guitar.